folks over at AITONE, I believe that's how you say it, sent over this analog chorus pedal for me to try. So we're going to go through the features, the sounds, and even compare it to some other chorus pedals, at least emulations of those pedals. And I'm going to be giving it away for free. The link is going to be down below. You do have to provide your email address, but I'm not going to be spamming you. That's just to let you know that you've won. It is going to be for US residents only. I apologize for that. It's just because shipping is so expensive and complicated to other countries. Also, it is going to be for 2 weeks after this video goes live. That's about it. Like I said, link is down below. Let's dig in. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. All right, and there you have it. Pretty straightforward. Let's just go over some of the basic features. Over here on the side, you have your 1/4 inch input, your signal going in. On the other side, your 1/4 inch going out. On the back, let's go ahead and go back here just so we see the make, model, all that stuff. And also a note, if you remove the screws, it will void the warranty. So make note of that. There is some room back here for Velcro if you want to attach this to a pedal board or something like that. On the top, you have your 9-volt power in. And then, of course, a pretty simplistic layout. We've got our level control knob, depth knob, the rate, and your foot switch. And that's basically it. This is the AITONE AT04 Analog Chorus. So let's plug it in and hear some sounds. So brief background, if you don't know what chorus is, and honestly I had to go back and kind of look it up myself. I can usually identify it when I hear it, but it is easily confused with vibrato or flanger or phaser. In some instances they kind of overlap, but essentially it is recreating your dry signal and then also pitch shifting it a little bit. So it's recreating that signal, delaying it, and then pitch shifting it. So if we go through some of these knobs here, the level is essentially just the volume control. The depth really deals with the delay and the pitch shifting, and then rate is just the speed of all that. And so let's go ahead and hear the dry signal. I'm going to be going back and forth between my computer screen, which I've got an instance of Logic set up here with Helix native going on, and I've just kind of got this cartographer amp going on. It's a patch I set up. I don't remember where I got it from, but it's something I got from somewhere and sort of tweaked it even further for this instance. So one thing to note for this setup that I've got going on, I'm going straight into the chorus pedal before I go into everything else. So ideally, most of the time you would want a chorus pedal like after overdrives and things like that, maybe in the effects loop of your amp. But in this instance, I'm just being kind of lazy. And even in that intro video that I recorded with all the instrumentation, I went into this straight before I hit anything else. And so even before overdrives, I was going into this chorus pedal, which is not standard in most cases, but like I said, I was too lazy and that's just how I did it. So anyway, only thing I've got on here is this compressor and then the amp and an IR cabinet. I guess they're split in parallel, and so I'm not going to go really into this patch, but just know that it's a pretty clean amp. This is my dry signal, and here's my chorus signal. So these are the settings that I had primarily on that intro video. Most of the time, if I had the chorus on, I had these settings at like 3/4-ish of the way on both the rate and the depth. And then in one instance, I had everything kind of dimed except the level. This was just kind of unity or the sound, the level of the signal that worked best for me. But in this case, let's kind of go from like dry, and then we'll kind of crank each of these up in different variations so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. And I'm just going to be playing like a C chord, something basic. So really these work in conjunction. So if I don't have any depth, I'm not really going to have a rate. So let's first take the depth to like 9 o'clock. You can hear a little bit of it there, so let's turn the rate up to 9 o'clock. Again, still not much, so let's go to noon on the depth. And then noon on the rate. So there you can hear it kind of sounding more like a typical chorus pedal. Let's go even higher on the depth. Let's go like 3 o'clock. And then let's go 3 o'clock on the rate. And then let's go all the way on both. Okay, so that's pretty much like the gamut of the sounds you can sort of get from this chorus pedal. It's pretty simple, you know, there's not a lot to it. So I'm not going to drag it out and go any further and try to do every possible combination of sounds. But to me, you know, I'm not really a connoisseur of chorus. There's not like a favorite chorus pedal I have. In general, most choruses will do the job. So I'm just going to kind of put this like kind of where my favorite spot was. And really with this sound, you can do a lot of different things, right? So some of the classic chorus sounds that I think of would be in my Logic session with the Helix. I've got this delay on here. I've actually had it on the whole time. And I've got a reverb, a plate reverb with the mix around 35. So those are really the only effects I've got going on. There is a chorus up here, but I do not have it on. And I want to go through and just kind of compare some of these choruses just so we'll have an idea. I'm not going to go through, like I said, every possible combination or comparison. But again, so this chorus sound, you can do a lot with it. Like, for example, so there's that kind of famous chorus sound, and then like a similar sort of era of sound. So there's that one as well. And then again, kind of from the same era, another famous one is, let's see. So other than that, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other kind of famous chorus sounds, but those are kind of three that come to my mind. Those, like I said, are probably all in the 80-ish time frame, and the 80s was a time of chorus, and so those are just a few examples. Okay, now that we've done that, I thought it might be a good idea to compare this chorus to some of the choruses in the Helix. And you may hear my computer fan running. I'm sorry about that. It's kind of noisy. That's just the nature of the beast and my setup here. But like I said, if we look at my screen here, I do have this chorus already in this patch. This is the 70s chorus, and I don't really have the list of what all these are. I think one is the Boss chorus from back in the day, really famous one. Some of the other choruses is the Plastic chorus, the Ampeg Liquefier, which apparently is an Ampeg model. The Trinity, I think might be, some of these might be Line 6 originals. I think this original chorus is from their, like, one of their pedal models from a while back. Anyway, I do know that I think this 70s chorus is one of the old Boss choruses that's kind of famous. So let's just go through these and just compare a little bit. I'll try to set the rate and the depth to something comparable. Let's just go to 50%. So on my analog chorus from AITONE, I'm going to go 50% on each. And let's compare it to this first model with the speed at like half and the depth at half. So first, let's leave it off and just hear again the analog chorus from AITONE. I'm going to turn the AITONE pedal off, turn this one on in the Helix. So once again, keep in mind, this chorus in the Helix is after the amp, and the one that is in front of me from AITONE is in front of the amp. So that will make a difference. Let's take this chorus and change it out to the 70s chorus. Let's see. We got vibrato, rate, and depth, and spread. So we don't really have the same things called out, but the rate would be the chorus rate, and then there is a vibrato. Let's just leave it on chorus, and then put this rate also at half, and the vibrato at half, and that should get us in the ballpark. Again, let's listen to the AITONE pedal. And then the 70s chorus pedal and the Helix. All right, so there's another one. Now let's move on to the plastic chorus. We're gonna go and put our rates and depths at about halfway. And again, we'll hear the AITONE pedal. And now let's hear the plastic chorus pedal. So that one's got a lot more warble going on than maybe any of the ones we've compared so far. Let's move on to this Ampeg liquefier. I'll turn that one off. Here's my AITONE pedal. And then here is the Ampeg liquefier. So that one is a lot more subtle. And let's finally move on. I guess we've got two more here actually. Let's do the Trinity chorus. Get the left and center depths the same. Right depth, I guess we need to get, this one's gonna be probably different because we've got all this panning going on. But anyway, let's go back to the AITONE. And then the Trinity chorus. So obviously there's a lot you can do with this one. It's got LFO, preset manual boost, center boost, right boost, of course the left, the center depth, right, whatever, all that stuff. There's a lot of capabilities in this Trinity chorus that are not going to be present in the AITONE. So finally, let's try to do this 4-voice chorus. So let's go back to the AITONE. And then here is the 4-voice chorus. I better get my rate. So this is in hertz, so I'm not sure how that's going to compare, but I'll put it in the middle, and then I'll put this guy in the middle-ish. Not sure how this is going to sound. So that one's probably so different that it's really not comparable, but I think the other ones are pretty comparable. And again, I just wanted to quickly run down, compare those. I'm not gonna, like I said, try to match them up to sound the same, just to give you sort of a brief idea of what other choruses sound like. This one is a pretty subtle chorus, and I like that myself. I don't really like a ton of saturation. I think it's nice to have it. I mean, there are times when you really want it to stand out, but for the most part, I think it's a nice, just kind of subtle effect to add in spaces to make things just a little more wide. So one thing I did want to point out really quickly, sort of a negative about this pedal, and maybe it just has to do with my setup, but if you look on my screen here, you can see this little chatter going on with the level, and I've got the chorus pedal on. I've got my volume actually all the way off of my guitar, and if I bring my volume up, I don't think it really changes it, but it's got this sort of like pulsing signal going on. It's a low level thing, but if I'm quiet, and I'll even let you listen to it, you might be able to hear it kind of popping in the background, which is a little bit annoying if you have this, if you forget to leave it and turn it off and you have it left on, and it just kind of is this sort of unwanted noise. So I'll let you hear it. So I'm not sure if you could hear that or not, but it's obviously there. I can see it coming through on the levels in Logic, so I'm not making it up. And that is sort of an unwanted thing. And I just wanted to share that that I'm experiencing that with this pedal. Anyway, that's going to do it for this review. Please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting. Don't forget to enter the contest, and thank you so much for watching.